Mia Turner never thought a tiny town in Willow Creek, Ohio would completely change her life. She grew up in Chicago, where everything was loud, rushed, and always moving. But after her mother suddenly passed away, the city started to feel empty. Every street, every coffee shop, every bus stop reminded her of someone who was no longer there. Grief followed her everywhere she went. One evening, while cleaning her mother's old bookshelf, Mia found a sealed envelope hidden inside a book. On the front, in familiar handwriting, were the words, "For Mia, when you're ready." Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a short letter. "There is a small house in Willow Creek that once belonged to your grandmother. It is yours now. If you ever feel lost, go there." 2 weeks later, Mia packed her car and drove to Ohio. Willow Creek was quiet and peaceful. People waved to strangers. The grocery store cashier smiled and called her sweetheart. It felt like stepping into a slower, gentler world. The house was old, painted white with a small wooden porch. Inside, everything seemed frozen in time. A rocking chair by the window, faded family photos on the walls, and a faint smell of vanilla and cinnamon drifting through the kitchen. That first night, Mia barely slept. Every creak made her sit up in bed. But beneath the fear, there was something else, a strange feeling of comfort. The next morning, a kind elderly man from next door introduced himself. "I'm Harold," he said warmly. "Your grandmother was the kindest woman this town ever knew. Her apple pies were famous." For the first time since her mother's death, Mia felt a small piece of her heart begin to heal. She slowly became part of the town. She took a job at the local library. She started attending Sunday church. She bought fresh bread and apples from the farmer's market. Life became quieter, but warmer. That's when she met Ethan Brooks. Ethan worked at the town's hardware store. He was calm, gentle, and always seemed to know when someone needed a smile more than words. "You're not from here, are you?" he asked one afternoon. They began meeting for coffee at a small corner cafe. Mia told him about her mother. Ethan told her about his father, a war veteran who never truly came back the same. One snowy evening, as they watched the streetlights glow, Ethan softly said, "This town heals broken people." Mia didn't answer, but tears filled her eyes. A few weeks later, while cleaning the attic, Mia found an old wooden chest. Inside were letters, photos, and her grandmother's diary. One sentence stood out. "Willow Creek gives you what you need, not what you want." Then life tested her. A publishing company in Chicago offered her a high-paying job. Her old life, her old dreams calling her back. She felt torn. When she told Ethan, he smiled sadly. "I won't stop you. Just remember, peace is rare." That night, Mia sat in her grandmother's rocking chair and reread the diary. It felt like her grandmother was guiding her. The next morning, Mia declined the Chicago job. She chose Willow Creek. Months later, she opened a small book cafe called Grandma's Corner. People came to read, talk, and feel at home. One quiet afternoon, Ethan walked in holding a small velvet box. "This town didn't just heal me," he said softly. "It gave me you." Tears filled Mia's eyes as she nodded yes. Sometimes life doesn't give you big cities and loud dreams. Sometimes it gives you a small town, where you find yourself again. The cafe slowly became the heart of Willow Creek. Every morning, the bell above the door chimed as familiar faces walked in. Farmers with dusty boots, teachers carrying notebooks, teenagers stopping by before school. Mia learned everyone's favorite drink by heart. Extra foam for Mrs. Parker. 2 sugars for Mr. Lewis. Cinnamon sprinkled on top for little Emily. Grandma's Corner felt less like a business and more like a family. Mia and Ethan didn't rush into wedding plans. They spent their evenings walking through quiet streets, talking about dreams, fears, and the kind of home they wanted to build someday. For the first time in years, Mia felt safe enough to dream again. But peace never stays untouched for long. One afternoon, a well-dressed man walked into the cafe. His shoes were too clean for Willow Creek. His voice too sharp. "I'm looking for Mia Turner," he said. She stepped forward. He introduced himself as Daniel Rhodes, a real estate developer from Chicago. "We're buying property in this area," he said. "Your land is extremely valuable. I can offer you a generous amount." Mia's stomach tightened. This cafe is my life, she replied. Daniel smiled politely, but his eyes were cold. Everything has a price. Over the next few weeks, flyers appeared around town. New development coming soon. People began to worry. Old families feared losing their homes. The peace of Willow Creek was under threat. Ethan tried to stay calm, but Mia could see fear in his eyes. They'll turn this place into another crowded city, he said. They don't care about people. Only money. One evening, Mia received an envelope, no return address. Inside was a copy of an old property map. Written in red ink were the words, "Your grandmother protected this land. So can you." Confused, Mia went back to the attic and searched through the old chest again. Hidden beneath the diary was another folder. Inside were documents showing that her grandmother had placed special restrictions on the land, historical preservation rights. This meant developers could not legally destroy or rebuild large portions of Willow Creek. Her grandmother had protected the town long before Mia ever arrived. Tears streamed down Mia's face as she realized the truth. Her grandmother didn't just leave her a house. She left her a mission. Mia took the documents to the town council. Within days, the development plan was officially denied. Willow Creek was safe. When the news spread, the entire town gathered outside Grandma's corner. Someone brought guitars. Someone else brought homemade pie. People hugged Mia, thanking her through happy tears. Ethan held her hands and whispered, "You didn't just save this town. You became part of its history." That night, Mia stood on the cafe porch under glowing porch lights. The quiet breeze moved through the trees. She finally understood. Her grandmother hadn't sent her here to escape life. She sent her here to build one. And Willow Creek would always remember the girl who chose home over money. Every like, subscribe, and share supports our channel and helps us tell more stories like this.